This is the lesson for 2-6, solving equations that have fractions and decimals in them. To change a fraction into a decimal, you have to divide the top number by the bottom number. So to change a fraction like 4/5 into a decimal, you have to actually type into the calculator the top number divided by the bottom number. 4 divided by 5 gives you 0.8. Negative 2/3, you have to do the top number divided by the bottom number. So negative 2 divided by 3. When you type this into the calculator, you get negative 0.6666666667 on the calculator. The calculator tries to round that last digit. Always ignore the very last digit. If the answer fills up the whole screen on the calculator tries to round it. So just ignore that last digit on the calculator. This is really negative 0.66666666 or 6 repeating. Don't type in that 7, all right? The calculator tries to round it. So whenever you have a fraction in a question, the very first thing that I would do is change it into a decimal. So I would change this 4/5 into a decimal by doing top divided by bottom. 4 divided by 5 is just 0.8. Bring down everything else that you didn't use yet. So bring down your +1, bring down your equal sign, bring down your 12. Now it's just a normal two-step equation. -1 and -1 to get the 0.8x all by itself. 12 minus 1 is 11. Divide by 0.8, divide by 0.8. Always do top divided by bottom. 11 divided by 0.8 gives you 13.75. When you go to check your answer, you're going to take this 13.75 and sub it in for x. So 0.8 times 13.75 plus 1. You could type this right into your calculator all at once, and you get 12. Now, on these questions, now not on this particular question, but on other ones, where you might have big, long, ugly decimals or repeating decimals, once in a while, you might get an answer like 12.000001, or maybe have a 3 at the end or something like that. Or you might get 11.9999999, and then a random like 7 at the end, all right? Just ignore all these. This is just 12, 12, and 12, all right? If you get 11.9 repeating, that's just 12. If you get 12.0000 and then a number, that's just 12, all right? So if anything like that ever happens with these, just ignore that and just round, all right? That's 12 and 12. In the next question, we have the fraction 2/3. 2 divided by 3, top divided by bottom, is really 0.6666666666. You want to fill up the whole screen with sixes. N minus 6 equals 22. So I'm just going to rewrite that question. Now, to solve this two-step equation, we want to try and get this 0.6 repeating n all by itself. So we need to get rid of the -6 by doing +6 and +6. These sixes cancel out or zero out. So we have 0.666666n equals 28. Now we're going to divide by 0.6 repeating, divide by 0.6 repeating. Here's where you need to be very, very careful. All right, you need to be very careful when you type this into the calculator. What you need to be typing into the calculator is 28 divided by 0.66666666. You can't just type in 2 of them. You can't type in 3 of them. Fill up that whole screen with sixes. All right, as many sixes as you can fit. So 28 divided by 0.66666666, you should get n equals 42. Now, what happens if you only type in one of the sixes? Will you get the right answer? No, you won't. If you actually did 28 divided by 0.6, notice that you end up with 46.6 repeating, which is the wrong answer. The correct answer is 42. So it does make a difference. You have to fill up, when it's a repeating decimal, you have to fill up that whole screen with the repeating decimal. So be very, very careful. In the next one, we have n's on the same side of the equal sign. So we want to add together our like terms. 2n plus negative, that minus sign counts as a negative when you go to add together your like terms, 2n plus negative 0.8n gives you 1.2n. Bring down everything that you didn't use yet. So bring down your plus sign, 3.4, and your 10. Now it's just a two-step equation, so minus 3.4 and minus 3.4. So we have 1.2n equals 6.6. Divide by 1.2, divide by 1.2, you end up with n equals 5.5. Always do top divided by bottom. In this one, change the fraction into a decimal first. So this is just 1 divided by 2. 1 divided by 2 is really 0.5. So that's what we're going to distribute with, 0.5. So we're going to take that 0.5, distribute, and distribute. 0.5 times x is 0.5x. 0.5 times negative 4 is negative 2. So we're going to write minus 2 equals 8. Now it's just a two-step equation, so plus 2 plus 2. 0.5x equals 10. Divide by 0.5, divide by 0.5. Always do top divided by bottom. 10 divided by 0.5 gives you 20. Be very careful. 10 divided by 0.5, top divided by bottom. In the next one, we have decimals, and they're on different sides of the equal sign. We have a 5.6 and a 3.25. I always like working with the smaller of the two letters first, because that way you'll work with less negative numbers. So I'm going to subtract 3.25x from both sides. So when you do that, you get 2.35x. Bring down everything that you didn't use yet. So now we just have a two-step equation. Add 16.7 to both sides. So those will cancel out. So we have 2.35x equals 28.7. Divide by 2.35, divide by 2.35. Those cancel out. Now, be very careful. When you type this into the calculator, you're going to get a big, long, ugly decimal. The directions might say it around, they might not say it around. You have to pay close attention to the directions. If the directions don't say it around, you do need to write out this big, long decimal answer that you should get on your calculator. 12.212766596. If the directions don't say it around, you have to write out the whole thing. Take a look at this one. This one has decimals and the distributive property. We want to take the number outside and multiply by both of the things inside. So we have 4.5x minus 13.5 equals 31.5. Now you just have a two-step equation. Plus 13.5 plus 13.5. So we have 4.5x equals 45. Divide by 4.5, divide by 4.5. Top divided by bottom, 45 divided by 4.5 gives you an answer of 10. Go ahead and pause the video. Try these two questions on your own, please. In this first one, we have letters on both sides of the equal sign. I like working with the smaller of the two letters first, so I would get rid of that negative 5x by adding 5x to both sides. So now I have 12x plus 12.5 equals 85.5. Just a two-step equation now. Minus 12.5 minus 12.5. So 12x equals 73. Divide by 12, divide by 12. X equals, again, be very, very careful, 6.0833333333333333333333. Now, that 3, those 3's keep on going on forever. You could write your answer like that, all right? Don't just put one of the 3's, don't put 2 of the 3's. Write down all the 3's that are on the screen. Or because this is 3 repeating, you could write 6.083 with a little bar on top of the 3, which means repeating. In this last one, change the fraction into a decimal. So the 2 stays the same. 2/5, top divided by bottom. 2 divided by 5 is just 0.4x. And 3/4, 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. This is really just a two-step equation. It's sort of written a little bit weird. It's written backwards. So 0.4x equals negative 1.25. Divide by 0.4, divide by 0.4. Top divided by bottom, you get negative 3.125. So again, anytime that you have a fraction, just change the fraction into a decimal. Do the top number divided by the bottom number to change it into a decimal. And be very careful with your repeating decimals. You have to write down all the numbers and type in all the numbers into the calculator.